Hello, it's Sunday, February 4th, and I'm dorking around with this thing. The fan speed that does some weird stuff is when you've got it at a particular speed, everything will be fine, and then sometimes the fan will slow down or speed up. So what I'm thinking was there's some problem with the contacts on the switches in here. And so I took it apart to see what I could see. And it's actually not switches, they're potentiometers. All right, so there's nothing I'm going to be able to do to this except destroy it. So what I did is I blew it off with compressed air really good, and then I took these guys out like that, and I squirted WD-40, it'd been better if I had regular contact cleaner, into both sides of the potentiometer, and then blew it out with compressed air. And if that fixes it, great. If it doesn't, I know where to buy a new one of these. Freightliner's got them, and they're all over the internet if you just look up the part number. And I'll share with you what that part number is. Right here, I just looked it up a minute ago. R22-57054-003 on a Google search, and you'll find a whole bunch of these things for sale at all different kind of prices, like $250 to $325. Okay, I didn't video any of this thing disassembling it, but I'll show you how it goes putting it back together. These little black knob extension things, make sure you don't flip them around backwards. I think I flipped one of them around backwards by mistake, but it looks like they go that way. That's halfway in their stroke. There's one way, the other way, and that's halfway, and that puts the bigger, taller little thing towards my left. There's a little key right there, excuse me, that right there, and that lines up with that notch. So this thing can only go back together one way. Okay, now that snaps down in there. There's these little snaps right here, 1, 2, and then 1, 2. And I'm just going to push that down until it snaps into place. There. That's all there is to it. Okay. Now, if I got those little black things in backwards, I'll be able to spin it, remove them still, even though I put the circuit board back in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to double check with our knobs. Looks like all the knobs are the same. Let's see if I can get some light in there. Alright, so there's this little wheel, that's your detents. And now I got to figure out which way this thing goes. It looks like there's a fat notch toward the top and a skinny notch toward the bottom. And that would correspond with a fat notch, the fat piece and the skinny piece. And then, yeah, I think that's how it goes. So when that's horizontal, this is in the straight up position, and that makes sense. Okay, these things just snap right in and they snap right out. I just used a butter knife to get them out. And if those things were not clocked correctly, this would not rotate to its full rotation, because the potentiometer would kind of bottom out in its stroke. All right. So before I pop the back on, which this has got 3 tangs on each side. Those were actually a little tough to get off and not break anything. So before I put that on, I'm going to plug this in and see that it works. It seems to be working just fine. don't know if you can hear the fan over there. It used to be that you could tap it and it would change the fan speed. It's mostly down here when it did it. Well, maybe I fixed it. Time will tell.